Hey everyone, and welcome to Ink Spotlights from Comix Wellspring. This is the series where we shine the spotlight on immensely talented creators who print with us. Today, we're joined by Steve Honeycutt to talk about some of his projects, his journey a little bit more, his most recent release. Steve, thanks for hanging out today on the Spotlight. Tell us all about your new book.
Great to be here, man. It is called Escape to Earth Issue 3. It is the third issue in the Escape to Earth series, which is all about an intergalactic thief who crash lands on the prehistoric Earth where there's only one woman waiting for him there. I mean, she's not really waiting for him there, she just lives there, and she can control dinosaurs with her mind. They have to learn to work together to survive, basically.
Oh, that's sick. I love that so much. That's such a good premise in general. That's so
Thank you.
exciting. What got you to start making this book and start creating in general that led to this?
Hmm. Well, I mean, I've always got a lot of creative energy. I don't know. I've always been doing music or acting, and just always been writing something as well. It's mostly started with screenplays because, like, back in the '90s, there wasn't a lot of information on how to actually be a comic book writer, but there were tons of screenplay books, thanks to like indie film, like blowing up and stuff back then. So basically, Escape to Earth was the first screenplay that I completed, and it would be like a $1 billion sci-fi movie to make, and no one's going to make that because they have no idea who I am. So I thought, maybe it would make a good comic book, and I've always loved comics, and I didn't even know how to write one back then. But since starting this one, I've learned how to do the proper, comic book writing format and all that other stuff, and I've learned a lot. And yeah, that's basically what led to Escape to Earth, more or less.
I feel like that's so many of our journeys. Like, when you're trying to become a creator and especially a writer, where you're trying to find the proper avenue where it could be prose, it could be film, it could be comics. And even I was on that route where I was like, oh, well, whatever kicks off first is probably the one I'm going to lean into. And film was always very interesting. But if you think comics are hard, film is just another beast to take on,
Oh
from
yeah.
finance to organizing and whatnot. So I love that you got to bring this idea from, was it originally maybe a film script and then you're just able to really expand upon it? Do you think you got further with this comic script than you would have ever even imagined with the film script?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it would take several successful, like, sold screenplays in order for anyone to like come along and be like, "Hey, we want to give you 10 million for this new sci-fi IP." So yeah, I mean, hopefully the sales for the comic will someday maybe attract someone to make it a live action film. But if it never does, that's fine. I mean, because I think the ultimate end goal for Escape to Earth was probably a comic book anyway. Just didn't know how to write one back then.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's sometimes they seem like unbelievable, And then like when you're growing up and you're watching movies, you kind of forget, oh, people actually act and write and create the movies, and tend to forget, oh, people draw and create these comics too. It's almost the same parallel. But
Sure.
that's so exciting for you on that aspect. What could we see next from you? Is there anything brewing in the background with, everything you're doing?
Well, aside from Escape to Earth 4 and 5, which of course would complete the basically that story. I've also been working on a like an audio drama prequel for Escape to Earth that would star like the main character, Adam. Basically, it would be about like his life because he's from like a this Mad Max like dystopian planet. And it gets mentioned in Escape to Earth the comic, but you don't really get to see a whole lot of it. And it would basically just be another avenue to hopefully attract more readers and tell them to go to the website and hopefully buy and sell more comics.
It's awesome. How do you differentiate like an audio script from a film or a comic script? I'm kind of curious on that.
Oh well, I mean the again, just like with comics, like I didn't really know how to write an audio script. And there are examples on how to do one. Like I guess the BBC has like
Mm.
a standardized format that they use. But I mean, I knew that I was going to be editing this myself, and I mean, basically, the audio drama that I did, Ray Can't Sleep, was like my sort of indie film, only it wasn't filmed. And I basically rounded up like all the actors that I knew and asked for them. to work for lunch basically, and I basically just again wrote another screenplay. Although I knew it was going to be an audio drama in the end, and I just edited and produced it myself and made it work. Kind of like just how I did with Escape to Earth, going from screenplay to comic book format, more or less.
Oh, that's rad. Yeah, I've never, I've kind of thought about that aspect of audio dramas, but I've never approached enough of that idea to like investigate into it. But that's such a good aspect. I mean, a lot of us listen to audibles, a lot of us listen to audiobooks in general. And it is a great gateway. Plus, it seems like such an entertaining way. And it's kind of made a comeback. The way you're seeing them on, even on HBO Max, you have the Batman and the Flash audio dramas. And I feel like, even Doctor Who has, an archive of them pretty much. But that's such a good way to attract a new, probably a reader that would have probably never come across your book in general, and find them into that section. Any cons or anything you're planning for in the next coming year, 2025, that you may want to shout out to?
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be at Pasadena Comic Con, and it's not confirmed yet, but I usually show up at WonderCon in some form or fashion. And speaking of audio dramas, I've actually been doing a panel at the previously mentioned Comic Cons for audio drama, teaching other like writers basically how they can do it themselves, how they can make their own audio drama, take their screenplay or their novel or even comic book and bring it to life, audio drama style.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, we got to hear more about that as well. We would love to get you on the show. Sorry, my cat is just messing with my camera. Dude is just always there we go. We definitely got to bring you on the show and actually like help you tell that to the bigger audience too. I would love to discuss that process and some of your history because it sounds like there's a lot to uncover here with everything you've done and your experience. I think there's a lot of things that creators now can benefit from that. So where can people go to find all of your work right now?
Ooh, I mean, the best place to go is the Reptilian Media YouTube channel. I mean, there you can find my audio drama, Ray Can't Sleep. There's trailers on there for the past Kickstarters for Escape to Earth. We did a cinematic trailer for it with like sound and voiceover and stuff, and the art to try to make it look like a movie trailer as much as and sound like a movie trailer as much as possible. And of course, that has links to the Big Cartel site where you can buy the past two issues of Escape to Earth, which we have plenty of those still in stock if you're interested. But of course, if you don't want to spend any money yet, you can listen to Ray Can't Sleep, the audio drama, anywhere you find podcasts, completely for free.
Love it, dude. Love it so much. I'm so excited for everything you're doing and everything you're going to continue to do. These audio dramas, I can't wait to check out myself. They sound like an awesome thing to put on while we draw and whatnot, too. So thank you so much for stepping in the spotlight today, Steve. Any shout outs you want to give real quick before we sign off?
Well, I guess shout outs to the team of Escape to Earth, Antonio and Matthias. Basically, even though like they are somewhere on the other side of the globe in France and Spain, so hopefully this finds their way to them. And of course, all the voice actors who work for me for free on Ray Can't Sleep. Hopefully they'll be checking this out as well. But if you ever check out the audio drama panel, you might get a chance to meet a few of them.
Ooh, exciting. So exciting. I'd love to check that out someday as well. We'll definitely have to swing you back on another show to hear more about this. But thank you so much for stepping in the spotlight today, Steve. I can't wait to speak to you again. I can't wait to check out your work even more so, too.
Thank you.
Thank you.